Mailbag time here on the Cleveland Browns Report. I'm answering questions that our wonderful, beautiful viewers asked during our live show, which airs every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So come hang out this next Tuesday if you have a question you want to ask. First one rolling in from Burrito Fanatic. I do appreciate the avatar image there because Chipotle, if you're watching, they should be locked up for highest of treason for reducing the portion sizes and increasing the prices. Blasphemy. All right, will Jerry Jeudy or David Njoku have a better season? Good question. Good question. I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy. I feel like Jeudy will have a better season because I think if Deshaun Watson plays the entire 17-game season, over that 17-game span, Jeudy will be the beneficiary more of what Watson and maybe a little bit of Ken Dorsey want to do offensively and schematically than David Njoku. Now, I'm not trying to say Njoku's going to have a bad year because of this at all, but I just think there is some truth to if Watson is out there for all 17 games, which guy is going to have a better season? And the usual way to answer that question is, who will the quarterback target more? Is he going to go to Jeudy or is he going to go to Njoku? Because Njoku can't catch passes that aren't thrown his way. And when we look at David Njoku's stats with Deshaun Watson versus without Deshaun Watson, since Watson joined the Browns, I mean, they're not really close at all. Like, he's played more games without Watson than with. But even when you just average it all out, 3 targets more without Watson. Grabbing a half more without Watson. Yards per game is up. Touchdowns is up. Like, the fact of the matter is, for whatever reason, and, we can spend some time trying to nail down why this is the case, Njoku has played better without Watson than with Watson. Now, I'm sure David Njoku prefer to have Deshaun Watson play the entire season because it brings some stability and continuity to the quarterback position. But I feel like we may see David Njoku not take a backseat, but Jerry Jeudy may have a larger role because the Browns went out, traded for him, have a place and a plan in mind after giving him an extension. And I think there's going to be a little bit more force-feeding the football to Jeudy. So, again, this is not me trying to, poo-poo on Njoku going, he's going to have a bad year. No. Just think, I'm picking between one of these two guys to have a better 2024 season. I'd go with Jerry Jeudy. Next one up, Levi Mayfield. Who is Matt Landers? Matt Landers is the wide receiver the Browns signed on the first day of OTAs. Depending on when you're watching this, he may or may not be on the team anymore. These guys, they are just roster churn material, right? They go in and out all the time. But he was a UDFA last year out of Arkansas, spent time on the Seahawks and Panthers practice squad. Christopher Stofire, what's going on, dude? Predict how many touchdowns passing, then rushing for the season. 35 passing, 51 rushing. Oh, it's like the whole team. I've never really done a team rushing touchdown prediction. I'll say Deshaun Watson, if he plays all 17 games, throws 26 touchdowns. And I'll say the Browns rush for 51 feels high, does it not? Like, Nick Chubb, let's say Nick Chubb gets 5 touchdowns and Jerome Ford and Deontay Foreman combined for 10 touchdowns. That's 15. You get 2 from Watson. That's 17. Maybe a few other random players like a Pierre Strong Jr. or a fullback dive. I don't know. I'll say Watson throws for 26 and the team rushes for 30 touchdowns. That would be 51 rushing. That's a big number, too. They're not going to have 51 rushing touchdowns. Ty Man the Buckeye. Hot take. Browns win division. For the first time in AFC North history, Cleveland Browns win the division. I like the take. I really do. One, this is a division that never has a team sit at the top for very long. No one's won the AFC North 3 years in a row, so the Ravens trying to go just 2 years in a row after the Bengals won it before Baltimore in 2023. But I feel like the Browns definitely have the making to win the division. It's an extremely talented roster. It's a very competitive schedule. But that's the case for every other AFC North team. It's going to come down to, I think, who defends their barn the best. How does each AFC North team fare at home against the other teams? And who can steal a game on the road? Because my guess is all these teams are going to be near the top of the AFC standings when it's all said and done. The only thing that makes me a little bit hesitant about all the AFC North teams playing well is every single year we kind of dub a division as like the group of death, like in the World Cup, and then it never really happens. Like the AFC West was like that. Russ's first year in Denver, Devontae Adams in Las Vegas, and it was the opposite of that. So I think the Browns very capable of winning the AFC North. My gut tells me, though, I think the Ravens win it. The Browns finish second, the Bengals finish third, and the Steelers finish last. Joshua Miller, what's going on, dude? Hot take. Cooper won't sign the contract extension and will be traded by the... No, Josh. Stop it. Stop. No. Amari Cooper's not getting traded. And I'll tell you why. The NFL trade deadline is not late enough in the season for the Browns to feel like we need to surrender and start getting assets. It's just not going to happen. It would require the Browns to be like 0-8. This team is too good to go 0-8. Like they could be 3-5 and they still wouldn't sell. So no, I don't think the Browns trade Amari Cooper under any circumstance. And I think Amari Cooper turning 30 years old in June would be very, I wouldn't say grateful, but eager to sign a contract extension. Like, sure, he's played his best 2 years the last 2 seasons, but if the Browns give him, 2-3 more years with a lot of guaranteed money, I'm sure he'd take that up. I'm sure he would take that up over passing on that and betting on himself to what? Get a few more $1 million in free agency elsewhere? Like, unless the Browns completely lowball him, I feel like we're going to see Amari Cooper sign an extension before the season gets underway. Before we get to the rest of the questions on today's show, if you want to get yourself a Cleveland Browns USA themed t-shirt, we've got them at chatsports.com/CLEUSA. I put the link for everyone in the comments and description of today's video. But up your Browns wardrobe and your red, white, and blue wardrobe, chatsports.com/CLEUSA. Joshua Miller, yet again. Will Cade York kick in at least one game this year? Good question. Dustin Hopkins does have a little bit of a history with injuries. Of course, he ended last year injured. So I don't think it's a 0% chance Hopkins misses a game. I would think there's a chance that Hopkins may miss a game. I mean, he's done it before plenty of times, so put me in for yes, I suppose. It's still so strange that Cade York is back. Like, that was not something I had on my bingo card at all. But once it kind of happened, you're like, yeah, like I'm sure us, the fans, kind of thought there was so much drama behind the release of Cade York, when ultimately the Browns were making a business decision going into the season, not leaving it up to the kicker, which how many times was Dustin Hopkins called on last year and he delivered? Cade York have done that last year? No. Not after the preseason he had. So for the Browns to bring him back and maybe start a little bit of a rehabilitation process for him, and Dustin Hopkins gets injured again, hopefully they feel confident in Cade York 2.0. Levi Mayfield, 0-10, you think we could have 2 1,000-yard receivers this year? I don't really get the 0-10 part. Oh, scale of 1 to 10. Like, how likely? How likely? Well, let me put it this way. If you've got 2,000-yard receivers, there are, I think, 3 things in play. 2 things in play. One, you got to have a lot of talented guys. Like, you can have a quarterback that throws the ball all over the field. If there's not really good receivers, they're not going to have 2 guys get to 1,000. The Browns, I think, have 2 players capable of reaching 1,000 yards. Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, and David Njoku. I think all 3 of those guys can get to 1,000 yards. 2, you need an offense designed to pass the ball a lot to get those opportunities. I think we're going to see a lot of throwing out of Ken Dorsey's offense this year, right? I think that with Nick Chubb coming back from his knee injury, we're going to see the ball thrown a lot. That's the second thing. Third thing is, not only do you need to have an offense that's designed to throw the ball a lot, you need to be put in situations where you are asked to throw the ball a lot. If the Browns' defense is keeping them in games and keeping them in the lead, when the fourth quarter rolls around and the Browns are up 17-10, they're likely not going to throw the ball a whole lot. So it'll be tough for a wide receiver to get to 1,000 yards if in a lot of these games in the fourth quarter, they're not trailing by 2 touchdowns and going 4 verts every single play. So for that reason, I feel like as talented as Cooper, Jeudy, and Njoku may be, there may just not be enough opportunities because the Browns, I hope, are not trailing because they've got a really good defense to get to 1,000 yards. So that's why I would actually be on the 4.5 side of this happening. Not because they don't have good receivers, but because the receivers may not have the chance to do it. Cool guy, Cole Jones. If Jeudy shows out more, he could be gunning for Coop's number 1 role. I don't think that's going to happen in 2024. Like maybe in 2025. But still, Amari Cooper, I know when players kind of fall off, it kind of comes out of nowhere a little bit. Like it kind of happened with DeAndre Hopkins, although he was still good last year with Tennessee. Amari Cooper just played the best 2 seasons of his NFL career the last 2 years in Cleveland. So I'm not seeing any signs of slowing down this from Amari Cooper. So Jeudy can ball out. Jeudy can play super, super well. I still think Amari Cooper's got that number 1 job sewn up for 2024 and probably 2025, although we may not see him return in 2025 since he's a free agent after this year. Levi Mayfield, what's your favorite bar food? Last question. Let's end on this one. Favorite bar food. Okay. Got some strong opinions on this one. I love wings. I don't like getting wings at a bar because they're super messy and I don't do boneless wings. I do traditional wings. So unless I'm dining with people I don't care embarrassing myself around, I'm likely not going to get wings. Can't go wrong with mozzarella sticks. I like nachos, but I don't like sour cream, so get sour cream off of it. For me, mozzarella sticks, cheese curds, you get fried cheese involved. It's not a huge onion rings guy, but I would say the go-to bar food order for me, chicken tenders, mozzarella sticks. That's what I'm kind of going for right there. And cheese curds as well. All right, let's bring on Mr. Trace to pick the card to wrap up the show.
I'm feeling the 7 of spades today.
7 of spades.
Feeling lucky.
I'm going to go with the Jack of spades.
Ooh, sticking with the spades.
Yep. You ready?
Let's do it.
It is a spade. It's the 3 of spades.
Oh.
We had 3 of diamonds. Now we got 3 of spades.
Wow.
3 of spades. All right. That will do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate all of you that watch our content from start to finish. If you liked our video, leave us a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will sign off, and we will see you all later with more Browns news and rumors content.